What was a single sentence spoken by a friend or partner that instantly made you realize, oh, we are completely done? Left for a 2-week business trip. This happened the day I got home. Ex-husband. You were gone for 2 weeks and I didn't miss you once. College buddy of mine didn't want the party to stop after we graduated. Would constantly show up at my door unannounced, wanting me to meet his latest girlfriend of the week or to go on random road trips with him. A few years later, I moved in with my GF, who is now my wife, and when I told him we were engaged, he said, quote, "I never thought you'd sell out like that." I was like, okay, fuck you then. Don't give me the opportunity to hurt you again. We were best friends in high school, but hadn't seen each other since starting uni. First summer back home we met up and she had really gotten into religion in like a big way, which I didn't mind but was just a bit odd as she'd never been religious before. I told her that since I'd last seen her, my dad had sadly been diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's and how hard it was on our family. She, with a completely straight face, told me that the devil had given my dad Parkinson's and he must be a terrible person. We haven't spoken since that day. Guys like you don't leave women like me. That's when I knew the divorce I asked for was definitely the right decision. I used to have a gym friend. We would work out together. We were both quite overweight when we met and stayed that way for a year or two. I finally got my shit together and started changing my habits and losing weight. A spinning teacher that we both loved said to me in passing one day, "You've lost weight, you look terrific, good for you." My friend got this sneer on her face and said in a really nasty voice, "Yeah, don't you think she's too thin?" I was not, but I knew that our friendship was not going to survive this shift. This would always come between us. My ex-partner was together about a year, loved her endlessly. She was acting really weird over text whilst I was at work, so I stepped out for a minute to ask her if she was okay. I really don't want to do this over the phone. New there, and then it was over. Picking up my stuff was hard. Not getting to say goodbye to her kid I'd bonded with over the past year was harder. So this is going to be very specific and small and stupid. I asked her what the word was that she talked about the week before. The word was heuristic. She denied that we had the conversation. I said I'm pretty sure we did. She got mad and said that I should respect her when she said we hadn't had the conversation. I said, okay, we didn't have the conversation. She said I was just saying that and that I still thought we had the conversation. I said that this was because I still thought that we had the conversation, but that I was willing to drop it. She was not willing to drop it and was determined that I would believe that we had not had the conversation we had. I got Google in my car to define the word. Then she remembered the conversation and went quiet. When I used the word in context on the way home, she said, "You are a fucking arsehole. If you respected me, you would agree with me. You are just nasty." None of this was in jest. She was contemptuous and mean. Late husband is lucky he doesn't have to put up with your BS, said by an ex-partner that I'd known since I was 14. She said, "You're not worth it." There was context to it, but it still snapped me out of trying any longer. And another one, this one was a mom friend when our kids were little. Sue already had 4 kids and the youngest was medically fragile. She casually told me one day while we were watching the kids play, "Husband doesn't want another baby, but I do, so I stopped taking the pill and haven't told him." I didn't even know how to respond to that. Never hung out with her again. If there's food there, I can come. My ex had severe untreated anxiety. In social settings, it was so bad that anytime he ate, he would throw up. We were going to go to my family's house for Easter, but that was his response. I come from a big Italian family, so there is always going to be food there. But it just hit me right then that this guy needs help. He's not doing anything about it, and I can keep waiting around for it to magically get better. I spoke to him a few years later, and he thanked me for dumping him because it finally made him realize this wasn't normal and he needed help. He got diagnosed with generalized anxiety and PTSD, is on medication and in therapy, and doing much better. I am actually really proud of him and happy for him. He's not my guy, but he's a good guy. Said at dinner right before he left me there alone. We were in TN on vacation. I had to Uber back to the Airbnb after this. Got into an argument about how I wanted him to help around the house more, and he said, "All you're good for is cooking and sucking dick anyway." Needless to say, among other red flags, I was well and truly done. I had a friend who got really into racial justice. That's very important. I get that. But it's possible to take anything too far, even good things. She kept going after me about my white privilege, and it's like, yes, I have white privilege. I'm white. But what do you want me to do? I didn't choose my race. The best I can do with my privilege is use it to help the not privileged, like the free school I built in Sierra Leone and maintain with my factory job wages. I pointed that out to her, and she said that was white privilege. At that point I conceded there was no winning with her. I lived with my parents in Tulsa Oak. My fiancé told me he would give me permission to pursue acting. Permission? Broke up, moved to LA, became an Emmy-winning TV writer. Turns out I can act. When I was trying to explain that I felt my needs weren't being treated as relevant, and that I missed having companionship, 2 phrases closed the deal. This is a non-issue, and who in their right mind would want to keep you company in this? In marriage therapy trying to save 30+ years him, I'm not a sex addict. My therapist said he thought I was just a sociopath. The therapist was from 12 years prior, and he thought being a sociopath was better. She went out to a bar. I showed up when she didn't think I would. She was with another guy. This was the second time this had happened. The first time was crying, "I'm so sorry," the whole show, but this time she said, "You're so controlling, you don't let me do anything, I hate you." That cut me badly. She had cheated on me a bunch before that, but she had never said the words "I hate you," and now she's divorcing me. As I type this, she's out with other men. Still live in the same house because neither of us has money to go anywhere. 19 years down the drain because an almost 50-year-old woman can't just be happy with a decent man that takes care of her and wants to relive her 20s. An ex-boyfriend from years ago. I think I could be in love with the person you're going to become. I moved out the next day and he was shocked that I did. He thought we'd keep on keeping on. Nope. Been happily married for 26 years now to someone who loves me for who I am and isn't waiting for me to change. Friend I was close with for years. She said about my black so who had a good career and a master's degree, "He's not black, he doesn't sell drugs or anything." She's a white woman. That single statement made me go, I think I'm done here. Former bestie said, "Well, you've had her for 35 years. That's not too bad," when my mom's cancer came back. Haven't talked to her since. I just don't think it's that big of a deal about Trump being a fucking child rapist. After we broke up and she had ruined my sister's wedding for me, her response was, "Oh, I wish your sister had never got married." Made me realize she would never take accountability for any of her actions and was the most self-centered person I have ever met. I still wonder what you did to make me hit you. My ex-husband told me that I was a bad mom because I didn't lay in bed every morning and cuddle our children. I couldn't lay in bed every morning because I was working 2 jobs to bring in income after he was laid off and refused to apply to any jobs that were beneath him. Fucker. You care more about money than my happiness, from an old friend that I employed to do her a favor, in which she fucked me over and got fired. As soon as she said that, I just blocked her and never went back. 16-year friendship ended over ignorance. My best mate of many years wanted to use my house as a shag pad on the night of my daughter's wedding. So done with him, his wife left him because he was a twat, and he proved it that night with some random "Bye-bye Kevin, off you trot."